Hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I am sitting here with Donovan, the recovering Democrat, Sadiq, also known as the Yule Brenner. He's a little bit cold today. Oddly enough, they're in Southern California, where I just left from yesterday. So anyway, I didn't get a chance to meet up with Donovan because our signals did not cross for whatever reason, but it's all good. I'll be back there in 2 weeks. Anyway, on the Demetra K Show, we promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we are a great people, but we can always strive to do better. Today, we're going to be talking about Ice Cube clapping back at a Democrat who lied on him. Of course, I'm going to show you guys how it all went down. I also want to say hello to YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. Not only are you viewers, you now can click the link when we tell you to come on and ask a question, voice your opinion, or whatever it is you want to do. Only thing that I ask is that if you know that, or if I tell you other people are coming up, be brief, you know what I mean? So that everybody else can have a chance to say what they need to say. Also, if I don't know who you are ordinarily, I love for you to show me your face. That way I can make sure there's no shenanigans going on there. Who do we have here? One who cares. How you doing? Don, our moderator, we love and appreciate you. How you doing? One day I'm going to ask you about that. I think I know what the airplane means, and your thing means you're getting the hell out of here. Black America, how you doing? Complex Blackness, what's going on? You say, who is the Q? Oh, I'm going to show y'all. Okay? Because I kind of blurred him out. You know, sometimes people don't really want a picture like that on people's thumbnails, so I did him a favor. Moni, how you doing? Says happy Memorial Day to my favorite brown sugar blue. Happy, wonderful. Oh, birthday, as you are not limited to one day. You get a chance to celebrate through June, and I will continue to wish you happy birthday. Of course, she is speaking to her bubbling brown sugar, Donovan. Hello, Miss White. How are you doing today? Brother Reggie. Brandon, what's going on with you? Yes, indeed. Cube does not play. Thank you, Marcus, for sharing the link on Facebook. If you guys see the link and you want me to see your comment, click on the link and I would love to read it. Let's see here. Moni says, much Detroit love to meet your beautiful brown sugar. Donovan, you're going to wish him a happy birthday rest of this month and this live. I'm quite sure of it. Jan Michael, how you doing? And Emmanuel, how are you doing? Thank you so much. And yes, as Donovan said, please like, share, and subscribe. I will dance at your wedding. Donovan, what's going on with you?
Well, unlike some of us, this is Memorial Day weekend, and a lot of people get Memorial Day weekend confused with other celebrity days that we have for our armed forces and stuff like that. Today is the day where we mourn our war dead. So the people who have given the ultimate sacrifice. This is the weekend that we celebrate, we plant flags, and we remember those who gave the ultimate sacrifice, so that we, Demetra, myself, you guys out there, can all express yourselves in the way that you feel that you need to express yourselves. Thus, I'm wearing my Air Force ski cap with my rank on it and stuff, because it is that day. And for me especially, Memorial Day was actually the last time I heard the voice of my father in 1975 before he passed away. So for me, it's a special day, and I planted a bunch of flags at the National Cemetery yesterday. I didn't go to the ceremony today because I wasn't feeling good, but again, this is where we're at. So, but do us a favor, please like, share, and subscribe to the Demetra K Show. Even when Demetra's on vacation, she still puts out those great videos while she's out here gallivanting and running around and doing what she's got to do. Word on the street, Demetra, is you were forced to be put on the plane to head back to Houston. So I don't know what that was about. I know you love California, your daddy, everybody's here, but your California pass has been revoked. I think this is a great topic with the Ice Cube thing, because again, Ice Cube had the plan, and these Biden butt kissers, wherever they, I can't find them. I can't find these people. Oh, he's only been in office so long, whatever. We're going to meet with Ice Cube after the election. We're 3 years in, you guys. So let's get into this. This is a very important topic. I think everybody needs to listen and do this. So do us a favor, you guys, share this on your platforms as well. And also look at the banner at the bottom. If you guys so would like, please help us in the channel. If you would like to donate, there's all kinds of ways to do it. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Hey, you want to mail it in, we get you a PO box, and you could do all that as well, and do that. So let's get into it, Demetra, and let's see what our co-host's opinion is on this topic.
Hello, Brother Samuel, and I did cover that video that you sent me, so stay tuned for that. Hello, Roots Tracker. How are you doing? And Moni, I'm not quite sure what you're speaking of, if you can kind of clarify that. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. So as you guys know, the election season is coming rather fast, 2024 to be exact, where the United States of America will be voting for the president of the United States once again. And Biden is going to seek re-election, along with, he's bringing Kamala Harris with him, and Donald Trump. He's trying to come back and regain his seat, along with that of Ron DeSantis for the GOP ticket. Okay, so Ice Cube, and I'm going to put this up. I'm not going to show you the video so I don't get, in trouble, but I will do as much as I can. There's Ice Cube. Hey, baby, how you doing? He was on a podcast called Full Send, and one of the hosts asked him, why is it that Black people, or rather he asked them, do Black people have a stigma against the Republican Party? And he said this, because I want to make sure that we are clear as to what he said. He said this: I don't know what's going on in the African American community when it comes to that. I mean, Black people have supported Democrats overwhelmingly for 50, 60 years, and nothing has changed. So something's got to change. Okay, so that was Ice Cube's reply. Now, this is where we get to the interesting part. As you see here, somebody said, who is the Q? His name is John C. Varner III, Little Hulk Q. Okay. This is on Twitter. He says, Ice Cube only shows up every 4 years to tell Black people to vote for Republicans who are openly suppressing the Black vote, whitewashing and banning Black history, and killing diversity, equity, and inclusion programs that support Black folks. Hard pass. Now, of course, he was replying to another tweet from Leading Report that said, breaking, Hollywood star Ice Cube says Black Americans should ditch the Democrat Party. Now, I want to go back, because this is what he said, right? Did he say anything about ditching the party or anything? He says, so something's got to change. So I guess that's kind of up to interpretation. But John there basically lied on Ice Cube and said, he said, or he went off of this tweet that lied on him. And then he says Ice Cube only shows up every 4 years, which is not true, because we know that Ice Cube has the work to show that he has definitely been for the Black community. Of course, he took his contract with Black America to that of the Democrat and Republican Party, specifically to the Trump administration when Trump was in office. And then he also pitched it to that of the Biden administration, who had not come in yet, but, they were on the ticket. So Ice Cube said, whoever would be in office, I want them to go ahead and do something with my contract with Black America, which was basically asking for something for Black people, since, we always get looked over by everybody, right? But of course, we know that the Democrats disproportionately benefit from our votes the most. So we know that Trump's administration rather did meet with Ice Cube, and Biden's soon-to-be administration said, well, come back when we get in office. Now, Ice Cube did say within that podcast, the Democrats said, well, we agree with 90% of what you're saying here in contract with Black America, but come back. Needless to say, Ice Cube is still waiting on that meeting. All right. Now, one of the podcast hosts asked him, well, are you going to be involved next year? And he said, no, probably not. My contract with Black America is out there. It's not going anywhere. If anybody's interested in, using it, it's there. That's why, I created it along with a lot of other people. Now, this is what Ice Cube said to Mr. Varner, who said he is a Q for life. That's what he said in his profile, okay? I never told your Black ass who to vote for. So stop lying and get that clickbait out your mouth. Yeah. As only Ice Cube could say. So basically, if I could interpret what Ice Cube was saying, I think he was basically saying, Black folks, don't start y'all mess with me this year. Because as y'all also know, Ice Cube got taken through the stuff during their 2020 election season from negroes. Negroes calling him a sellout. Oh, how could you meet with Trump? Or you're for Trump, you're supporting Trump. And he was like, yo, I just pitched my plan to both parties. The Trump administration is the one that listened. The Democrats basically showed me the front door and said, yeah, come back later, which that later has not come. So I get why Ice Cube, Ice Cube is, with the stuff, and he ain't gonna play with you. But I get why he said what he said, because I already know he was like, nah. Y'all not gonna start this with me, because Ice Cube unfortunately took a beating with the very people he was trying to help. So he's like, in 2024, I ain't gonna be that involved. I said what I said. Y'all want it? There it is. Great. If you don't, that's good too. Because Ice Cube got about $140 million. He don't need none of that. But he was like, I'm trying to help my people and secure a future, for my grandchildren and my legacy to come. Because as we know, Black people in America have been shortchanged since we've been over here, and it's about time we got something, right? So I love that response, as only Ice Cube could deliver. So Donovan, what say you?
Man, you took all my talking points there, but I want to address this real quick. And this is a Democratic talking point to scare you guys, and they use it every year. Every year they use it. Oh, the Republicans are suppressing the vote. How? How are the Republicans suppressing the vote? Just about every Negro I know has a driver's license. They have some form of ID, being a citizen here. So when you go to the polls and they do ask for your ID to verify where you live, if you're at the right polling place, how is that suppressing the vote? You're a naturalized citizen here. You were born here. That's a lie. And if you guys are listening to me, I don't care where you are in the country, everybody has an ID to go and vote. So that is, think about it. That doesn't even make sense. But another question is this. And you got really ignorant Negroes out here, especially the older Negroes, that say the stupidest things. If somebody had a plan and you put it out there, so Ice Cube's contract with America, it's up there for any of the parties to meet with him to discuss. Why is that such a big deal? If the Republicans come to you and say, you know what, we're going to give you reparations, we're going to give you guys all the cars, unlimited Popeyes chicken sandwich vouchers, all of that good stuff, and that's something that we could benefit from, why wouldn't you want to meet with the Republicans? And why wouldn't you want to go with the Republicans? If the Democrats would have a better deal, then you would meet with that. That only makes sense. See, so these are talking points that the Democratic Party comes up with to get you Negroes back in line to make sure that you guys vote. And here's another thing that they're going to say. Well, we might be a little racist, but we're not as racist as them. Again, if you guys have been paying attention, white supremacy is one thing. It isn't two things. White supremacy is one thing. Upholding white supremacy. Both parties do it. And like I was talking to Rain Love in the comments there, you need to vote your interest in your wallet. If more of us would vote our money interests just individually, a lot of us would be on the Republican side, conservative-wise, voting for tax cuts and things like that would benefit us. But if you guys have been paying attention, they can't solve homeless issues in the United States. And in the United States, 50% of all homelessness are Black people, 50%. But you could bring migrants, illegal migrants, to the United States, put them up in 5-star hotels in New York City, a couple of blocks from downtown square, whatever that town square, whatever that area is. And if you saw some of the reports, these people are tearing it up. They're giving them vouchers, food, subway passes, all at your expense. But when we ask for reparations, where are we going to get the money? How are we going to pay for it? Well, you ain't worried about this. It is estimated New York City is paying $500 million a day. No, I'm sorry. No, not a day. I'm sorry. Take that back. They're spending $5 million a day just to house and feed the migrants. But when we want something in regards to what we're owed, where are we going to get the money? How are we going to do it? So Yeah, you guys, if you guys want to fall for this, you guys go right on ahead. But Demetra, I want to hear what our co-hosts have to say, because I know these folks who've been with us for a while have some varying opinions, and they probably know what's up. So let's get into it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Black America, he did meet with Trump's administration. He did not meet with Trump. I want to say, and don't quote me, that he met with Jared, his son-in-law. And I also want to say that he did show them Dr. Claude Anderson's Powernomics. So he did have a conversation with them. And that's when Trump said that, brought up the $500 million, I guess, that he would allocate to that of Black America. But he did meet with Trump's people. He did not meet with Biden's people. They told him to come back once they got into the White House, and that never happened. So that's what happened.
Well,
So
can I intercede there real quick? According to Kamala Harris's group, they reached out to her and he declined her request to meet.
right. I mean, it's like, for real. It's like we know why she reached out to him, because the election is right around the corner. And people like us, we're not going to let people forget that they told Ice Cube that he was going, that we'll meet with you afterwards. And they never did. They got in there and did for everybody else and did not do anything for Black people, including having a funky conversation with Ice Cube about his well put together contract with Black America, who he sat down with a whole lot of Black economists, and he spoke with Dr. Claude Anderson. So a whole lot of work went into it. It wasn't just something that he said, well, here, I want to put this together. And you guys look at it. It was talking about reparations. It was talking about housing, education. And of course, the queens of Foxhole, they took him to task as, well, what about women? And he was like, ain't y'all Black? I said Black. I didn't say Black men. I said Black people. Black women are Black people. So then he acquiesced them and he put in some specific language for Black women. So it was an all-encompassing contract with Black America. I read it, and it is rather good, because it's still around. So, we know why they're wanting to meet with him now. But the other thing is, they got so many Black people to drag Ice Cube. And I really felt sorry for Ice Cube, because it's like, unfortunately, that's what happens with a lot of Black people who really try to, get away from the rest of the sheeple and say, hey, did y'all think about something else? And then they just attacked them. So the Democrats, they sat back and was like, yeah, look at them. Look at them, going after Ice Cube like a rabid dog. They're doing our dirty work for us. So we know why Kamala's, hey, big head, how you doing? So anyway, y'all, the link is open. As I said, you guys, it's on YouTube. I'll put it in the comment section here. Please, I ask, if I don't already know who you are, please show me your face before I bring you up on the big screen. And please keep your comments brief, as I feel like we'll have a lot of people try to come up and say what's on their mind. So let's see. And DJ PD, how you doing? Who else came on here? Let's see here. I'm going to read y'all comments until I see somebody click the link. Najee, how you doing? You say, I was reading that they were going to get the immigrants $1,000 stimulus check in California, which is a Democrat state. They talk about giving immigrants $300 a week in unemployment for 20 weeks. But they still deciding whether Black people, residents of California, will get reparations. But they know they want to give immigrants. Now, when I say immigrants, I want to say undocumented immigrants who ain't even supposed to be there. They want to compensate them for being unemployed. Listen, I just left California. That's my home state. And I was so disheartened. Like, I didn't hardly even see no Black people. You know what the crazy part is? I ain't really see a lot of white people like that. But as I was coming from LAX, we took the streets somewhat. It was just homeless people everywhere. And it was a lot of homeless Black people. But yet, the migrants, that's what they're calling them, coming over, they're getting set up nicely.
Proper term is illegal. Migrants is when you've come here legally and done the paperwork.
But I know what they are. But I'm saying, for YouTube purposes, there's certain things. Listen, brother, I got this. Because, certain things you can't say on here, right? So that's why I'm saying, if you heard what I said they are calling them migrants. So for the sake of YouTube, we're going to call them migrants. They're coming over here. They're not documented, but they're getting set up nicely while Black people are struggling everywhere. So I would not doubt
And,
that.
and the funny thing is, 5-star hotels, 5-star hotels. That's what kills me. They putting them up in 5-star hotels, and New York is having problems in the tourist area of that area because the migrants are fighting, they're drinking. And I'm not trying to be stereotypical. I'm just telling you what has been reported. And but you can't house regular American citizens. I'm not even going to say Black citizens. I'm going to say regular American homeless citizens. You can't even house them. Where the money going to come from? How are we going to do it? But where's this money coming from? You give another $1 trillion in military hardware and cash to Ukraine. There's no study on that. There's nothing ever talked about when it comes to giving our tax dollars to other groups. But when Black people need assistance, oh, we gotta think about it. We gotta vote on it. We gotta get a committee and study it. Come on, y'all. Y'all better wake up. Y'all better wake up.
Black America, you say he got shut down by those Black women. I just showed you a whole Black man that lied on Ice Cube. So it wasn't just Black women, it was Black men too that, drug Ice Cube from here to there and everywhere behind him meeting with Trump. Why do you think they were mad? You're saying that he didn't meet with Trump. Then why were they mad for? He didn't meet with Trump. He met with his people. So it wasn't just Black women. And I know it sounds good for people to say, and I know even the Democrats high up there say the Black women are the backbone of the Democratic Party. That's something they say to stroke the egos of Black women, because Black men were not that far behind that of how they voted for the Democrats. It was only like 6% percentage numbers behind Black women. So it was basically the same. So who is this? People voting? Who is this? I need to see your face.
And then I want to add too, how many of you guys saw the town hall meeting AOC had in regards to the migrants? The folks in her district were like, we ain't having it. Look at the Black folks in Chicago. They shut that down to where the new mayor has to reconvene the city council to come up with another idea, which is they're going to do an end around, of course, to get to the migrants. Now, here's a man who ran on a progressive platform, got into office, and became a Democrat.
Yes, indeed. And Olivia, how you doing? You said with respect is not for our enemy to assist us. You're very correct. And you also said that the Democrats and the Republicans are the two wings of the same bird. That is very true. We know that the Republicans do not have Black people's interests at heart, but they don't lie and say that they do. It's the Democrats, right? So I got two people on here. Kid, grab and put you on mute. Let's see. Oops. There we go. Michael, what's going on with you?
I'm doing okay. How about you? How about both of you?
We're doing well. What's on your mind?
Yes. It was about a comment that your colleague Donovan made about voting for Trump regarding his wallet, voting with your wallet. And I'm just after thinking about what you said, Donovan, for a very long time. And I know it's going to sound a little controversial, what I'm going to say, but think about how Republicans and Democrats claim that they're for small businesses, and let's put aside race, this conversation, because obviously we know both parties are racist and they have white supremacist views towards Black voters. But the issue I have is with your argument's a little bit flawed when you said that you vote Republican because of tax cuts. If you look at study after study, the Economic Policy Institute, the Center for Economic Research and Policy Research, and other studies show that when Congress gives tax cuts to big corporations and the wealthiest, thinking that the money will trickle down, the reality is that the money never trickles down. It stays at the top because people at the top have a lot of capital, have a lot of stocks. They're not going to invest the money to create jobs. And for you to say that Republicans are for small business, not really. They're really for big corporations. The reason that they say small businesses, because they got to pretend that they're for average people, including Black voters, but they're really not. They just need them as pawns, so that way they can get into office and use their votes to vote to give more money, tax breaks to big corporations and the wealthiest. And the Democrats, on the other hand, they're for big corporations, but they barely support small business, barely. But to be honest, both parties are not good for Black people's votes, including their economic interests. Now, if I had to recommend who they should vote for, who they should consider voting for, it should be really about third party voting. I would recommend and strongly recommend that Black voters should consider the Green Party, Libertarian, the Party for Socialism and Liberation, especially for the Party for Socialism and Liberation. They support cash payment reparations for American descendants of slavery because they know both parties are racist and complicit in their actions, policies, and behaviors from not only the past 40, 50 years, but over 400 years and counting. And of course, Black voters need cash payment reparations. They need removal of qualified immunity, anti-Black hate crime legislation. And I just don't see that Republicans are not going to do it, and same thing with Democrats. So I say consider the third party voting.
Absolutely.
Well,
Donovan, you want to respond to that?
yeah, and I agree with you. Like I said, the big business Democrats are way more into big business and giving them tax breaks than the Republicans. I don't know if you know that. Nancy Pelosi is the biggest donor or taker of corporation donations. The Democrats, all of them are in there. So again, it goes back to what you were saying, Michael. It doesn't matter if you're a Republican or Democrat. They both do it. What did the Democrats say 8 years ago was the biggest problem in politics? Unlimited money in politics is the problem. And when they were in power, what did they do about it? Not a damn thing, in the words of a good friend of mine. And when we're talking about tax cuts, when I talk about tax cuts, Mike, here's what I'm talking about. If we do some research here, are you aware that 42% of Black people do not pay taxes? 42% of Black people do not pay taxes. And you want to know why?
Why's that?
70% of us are at the poverty level, below the poverty level, or just above it. Only about 30% of us pay taxes because there's a threshold of what you're supposed to make annually to pay taxes, right?
Right.
So about 42% of us don't pay taxes. So again, when I talk about tax cuts or people talk about tax cuts, we're talking about people that usually have money. And that's in our group, in our little 13% of this population, majority of us do not have money like that.
Right.
Either we're getting some kind of assistance or whatever the deal is.
Right. And I would say that for the tax brackets, it's a really start with people who make millions of dollars. As I have emailed you my proposal. So I start with a tax bracket of 10%. People make between $1 million and up, billion, etc. and up to like 90%. People who make under $1 million so pay no taxes, including Black voters, including Black small business. And I'm referring to those who are at the top, especially at the big corporate level. Because obviously and you're right, obviously you guys have been at the bottom for over 400 years and counting, and there should be a tax based on race. White people who have a lot of wealth and money should pay a lot, and those who are non-white should pay nothing. That's a simple solution to combat the wealth racial inequality. So that way you guys have enough time to build wealth. And I understand why increasing wages is not going to be enough for Black people, because and you're right, a lot of Black people had their wealth, property stolen, taken away from Muzungus over many years. So even Muzungus had to lose their jobs, they're still going to have wealth if it's a recession, etc.
Absolutely. So I'm going to go ahead and let Kid Gravity Beyond jump in. What's going on with you today?
I'm good. How are you?
We're doing well. What's on your mind?
I mean, I like the conversation you guys are having, but my thing is this: if these politicians aren't talking about giving y'all reparations or anti-hate legislation, then ain't nothing to talk about. It's just about fracturing the vote at this point. My goal right now is to make sure they keep reparations alive and this anti-hate alive. But if they're not gonna move, then I just tell my people, listen, let's get the Democrat vote under 70%. That's the only way they're gonna learn. If it's all red all over the place, hey, we'll take our chances with that, because at least we know they're coming for us. Y'all let the Democrats sweet talk y'all all these years, And what makes it even worse is we're trying to tell y'all from the grassroots level, they don't care about you. Everything they're putting out there that you think is good for you, it's really not. Look what they did with the Emmett Till bill. It didn't pass because it was straight black. They had to go put people of color in it. Then everybody did it. And look, Tyree Nichols, so he still don't have federal charges. Them cops still don't have federal charges. But let a black person kill a white person, federal charge. So at this point, I'm just saying, listen, me personally, right now, I'm not going to the polls except for local and state. That's about it. I don't care. Trump is Trump. We already know he gonna get it. DeSantis is gonna kill people in Florida. That's how I feel. Whatever. Let Florida deal with it. It's a game. And I didn't like how black folks were all happy that Vivek Ramaswamy went to go get a haircut in Southside Chicago, but didn't tell them, what are you going to do to fix Chicago? And that's your area. You in the Midwest. That's your area. And he's talking down on black folks. So at this point, we know there's a lot of us that don't like politics. I get that, but you better be informed because everything is political now. Even when you go down to the store to go get a box of eggs, that's political. So it is what it is. But that's my goal right now for 2024. Inform my people, and we just see maybe something will change in a year. Maybe, but I doubt it because we have too many black folks out there that still think democratically, and it's blue no matter who. And, you know, blue will get you through. That's what they tell us. No, blue will make you through. But that's all I gotta say.
Absolutely.
But I appreciate y'all show. I try to listen every Sunday. I appreciate y'all show.
We appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming on here.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And Michael, you have anything else you want to add to the conversation before I bring somebody else up?
Yeah, I would just like to add that, yes, and what your guy said, that's true. And I think he forgot to mention that if the Democrats and Republicans don't have the interest of black voters, it's always good to consider voting for third parties because they're really, like I said, they're really like more aggressive, more bold, especially the Green Party, pertaining to cash payment, reparations for American descendants of slavery, community economics, supporting small businesses. Because I don't see that with Democrats, especially on their platform going forward in 2024. With Marianne Williamson, with her exchange with Greg Marcel Dixon in terms of like the reparations amount. If I were like Marianne Williamson, I would apologize to Greg Marcel Dixon for the comments he made that the reparations should be only about $7 trillion. And Greg Marcel Dixon's right. The reparations amount should be anywhere like above $10 trillion, as a bargain. And for some reason, I understand why Marianne Williamson didn't want to increase the amount higher because she wanted to appease to like everybody else. When I say everybody, I mean like non-black voters, and I get that. But Mary Williams is making a big political mistake by not apologizing to Greg Marcel Dixon and say, Greg Marcel Dixon, you're right. The reparations amount I propose is too low, so we need to jack it up to at least closer to above. Closer to $20 trillion. How about we negotiate to 15 trillion? And if Greg Marcel Dixon said, okay, no, Mary, it's still too low. How about 18 trillion? And if both parties, if she and him say, okay, fine, we'll go with $17 trillion in cash payment reparations. Okay, Greg Marcel Dixon, you have my vote. And I apologize if I was being too irrational. I'm just trying to help Mary and Wilson. Really, if you saw that you care about black voters, apologize to them and accept their cash payment reparations proposal moving forward. Otherwise, Mary Wilson, she's going to lose big in the 2024 election. I also predicted as well because she's not that type of person who's very aggressive when it comes to running. You saw that in the 2020 presidential primary states. She was too soft, too cordial. Like if I were her, I would consult with multiple advisors, especially having the brothers to be on a campaign like Miriam. You got to go hard. You got to go aggressive, like what Donald Trump did in 2016. Borrow the playbook from Donald Trump, make it into your own campaign platform. Your own campaign running in 2024. Otherwise, she's not going to win big. Or we just might as well as find like third party candidates who are running on cash payment, reparations, removal of qualified immunity, anti-black hate crime legislation for black voters, and of course, like other policies.
Absolutely.
to help everybody. Otherwise, the Democrats, they're just going to keep repeating the same, election cycle
Mhm.
mistakes again and again.
See,
All right.
let me answer that real quick and be real quick. I like what you said there, Michael. It's really great. But here's the thing you got to understand. A woman can never be president in our lifetime because I'm going to give you an example. Marianne Williamson, she has no chance of being the president. 0, 0, 0. If Hillary Clinton couldn't do it, who is the most qualified candidate for president in this country's history, she was the most qualified. She couldn't do it. She lost to Donald Trump. Marianne Williamson is, it's just a front. Basically, what the Democratic Party is going to do, Biden is running for re-election. That's who they go with. It's as simple as that. It's already been decided. It is done. Period. Point blank. I mean, so I agree with what you're saying in reality, but is it actually going to happen? No, because the machine has already predetermined who our leaders are going to be.
Absolutely. And yeah, I mean, I agree with that. As far as Marianne Williamson, she is who she is. She's a white woman, pretending to care about Black people. And when Marcel Dixon pressed her on it, she was talking about the Jewish community needing, basically more protection. So, she knows she ain't stupid. She calls herself a spiritual advisor, but she knows she need Black people to get her anywhere near the doggone White House, which she's never going to do. She's a vote splitter or a waste of time, whatever, really at this point in the game. But I wouldn't say there's too many people running that really wholesale care about the interests and the betterment of Black people. But Michael, thank you so much for coming on.
And I might run in 2024. Who knows? I haven't made the decision.
All right, yet. Now we'll look and see. Let me ask you this really quick before you leave. Do you think Andrew Yang will be back on the ballot?
Andrew Yang, to be honest, when Andrew Yang, was proposing about the universal basic income, marriage counseling, and I know, Donovan, you emphasize family a lot, right? Unity together. I think you might like Andrew Yang's platform on marriage counseling. The only reason I have with Andrew Yang is that where does he stand on Black issues when it comes to cash payment, reparations, removing qualified immunity, and passing anti-Black hate crime legislation? I'll say this: Andrew Yang has made a I'll just say his influence is getting more like I'll just say it's making people think bigger than they did before. Like, do I see him returning? I don't think so, but I do think that we need someone who can run on cash payment, reparations, removal of qualified immunity, passage of anti-Black hate crime legislation for Black voters. And I say this to non-Black voters and Muzungus. If they really want to show that they care about Black voters, offer tangibles and pass tangibles at the same time, whereas at the congressional race, national, state, or local, do it immediately. I don't care if the white politicians have an issue with cash reparations being passed and then white people have to pay it, because white people, they're taxpayers, they're gonna pay what they did because the sin they created was for so long, 400 years in counting, and it needs to show that they need to pay taxes to expose their guilt, what they've done to Black people for 400 years and counting. So I do think we need young people with new ideas, but I know it's not going to happen. But if it's going to happen, all those who need a complete exodus outside of America, where Black people go to, like African nations or others, etc.
All right. Well, I appreciate you once again, Michael. Please come back and see us again.
I will. Thank you.
No, thank you. Bye-bye. And Jarvis Jones, how you doing? He says, you really think Hillary Clinton was qualified? So I'm not quite sure who said that, but of course she. Well, you know what? I'm gonna say this. Let me.
Good.
I think she was more qualified than Trump. Let's just keep it a buck, okay? However, Hillary Clinton had more of a resume than Donald Trump. Now, she wasn't president per se, but she held office, Secretary of State, and all of that. And she was there helping the Obama administration make some pretty pivotal decisions, including killing that of Muammar Gaddafi. But let's just say this, because I saw Black America, you say, men won't vote for women. It wasn't the men that didn't vote for Hillary. It was the white women that did not vote for Hillary. Because y'all know she had a slogan, or they had a slogan, I'm with her. They were not with her. They went in that booth and got with Donald Trump. They kept it white. So was Hillary qualified? Yeah, I think she was qualified, but Hillary Clinton, as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, was and is a very wicked woman.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and how I quantify her qualifications is this: she was the first lady, she was a senator, she was a. I don't think she was a Rhodes Scholar when she was in college. She was a Goldwater girl. We know that she's fundamentally a Republican, but her resume had all those things. There's never been a person who ran for president that had all of that background. So that's why she was highly qualified. Donald Trump, he didn't even graduate college. I mean, he got a degree, but we can see that he isn't too much there. So
Right. And Moni, I think I kind of understand what you're saying. So you're asking about the Crown Act. I guess they're trying to pass it federally. Is that what you're trying to say? The Crown Act basically says that you cannot discriminate against somebody for their hair. I guess it's really meaning black people, because they have to tell us how to wear our hair when we go work for them. I think it's symbolism. I don't think it has any. I mean, because those white folks ain't gonna tell you, well, you know what, I'm hating on you or discriminating against you because of your hair. They're gonna find a different way to do it. But like you said, we need real legislation that's actually going to, halfway protect black people, like a specific anti-hate crime bill for us, not everybody else, as, some of the lapdogs of the Democratic Party have tried to tell black people that anti-Asian hate crime bill is for everybody. Nowhere in that bill does it say it's for everybody. In fact, the first 3 or 4 or 5 paragraphs say that it is for the Asian Asian American Pacific Islander community. And so where they get y'all know who that they is, Roland Martin. The interpretation that is for us is a lie. It's a flat out lie. So
yeah, and then you got to remember, act like that. The federal government cannot tell a private business what their dress code is. So how are you going to enforce it? You can't. It's just something that's symbolic that they threw out there to get you to vote. That's all.
Absolutely. And I saw you guys too. And hello, Tracy. If I didn't already, how you doing? I think you're the one that I comment I actually wanted to bring up, as far as Kamala was supposed to be meeting with Snoop Dogg and a couple other people, Killer Mike. I read that was in that's what I was looking at, 2020, and Ice Cube passed. Well, we know, Snoop Dogg. I like Snoop Dogg. Don't get me wrong, I really do. But I think Snoop Dogg is going to play the game. We know that DL Hewley, he's a lapdog of the Democratic Party. Charlemagne the God is, and Killer Mike is too. Don't let Killer Mike fool you with all his, hard talking and, talking about black people. He still sells black people up the river as well, as far as I am concerned. But as far as Andrew Yang isn't for us either. No, Andrew Yang wasn't for us per se. He did say that he was not for reparations, but he was speaking about the UBI, Universal Basic Income. That would pay Americans 18 and over $1,000 to $2,000 every month, up until the age, I think, of 70 or something like that, in addition to a whole host of other things. So he was basically like, black people, he's the one that really put us on to AI taking over, going to help shrink even more the wealth, if you will, of black people. So he says something needs to be done. So I think he was more progressive than anybody that was seeking that ticket. And I was confused as to why. I mean, I don't know how many Asians voted for them, even though they're kind of like 8% or so of the population. I wonder why they didn't overwhelmingly for Andrew Yang. Let's see here. You guys can click the link if you want to come on and say something. Maxwell, how you doing? He says no to Andrew Yang. He's pro-Asian, anti-black. No, heck to the no. Yeah, he was very pro, when they were during the pandemic. They were saying that black people were the boogeyman to that of the Asian community. Yeah, he, those are his people. So you can't be mad at him at that. Of course, he's going to ride with his folks, right? I mean, would you expect them not to, And Common Man, you say Democrat AOC, Democrat from New York is now worth, are y'all for real? $29 million. Are y'all sure about that? I want y'all to double check. It says just 2 years ago, she was worth $45,000 with a 401k. Now you tell me where she's getting all that money from, kickbacks. I don't know that. That sounds rather high, because I know that even some of the longest serving people in Congress have not amassed that type of fortune. I'm not saying it's not true. It just sounds kind of off. And also, Donovan, I was looking when you said that only 30% of Black Americans pay taxes. I looked and it says that actually only 17% of Black Americans do not, they file zero. So I guess they get, they don't file or they don't pay taxes. So it's like 17%. So that's why I was kind of wondering that 30% is kind of low to say that that's the only amount of Black people that pay taxes. That didn't sound quite right.
I will double check your facts because the facts that I have, I'm going with that.
My facts.
I'm going with what I know. Because
Okay.
if you look at our population, if you're paying taxes, there's no way you're going to qualify for assistance.
That went all over my Afro puff. I could try to tie that together, but I ain't gonna try. All right, so let me get back into these comments. Let's see here. Oh, I went all the way up. Let's see. Let me catch up. I'm sorry. I missed my spot. Who did I have up here last? I'm getting to it. Hold on one second. Oh, here we go. Okay, it's about AOC. So yeah, that's rather high. $29 million for her. I think she's probably been in office about 4 years or so at this point. But that's a lot of money. Not saying you're wrong. Just sounds kind of off. All right. So let's see here. Moni says, Donovan, I totally disagree, and I disagree in this aspect. If there is another vice president that is a woman, and the president passes anyway, automatically she becomes the president. And I think that's what a lot of people are concerned with the age and health of Joe Biden. That Kamala will be next in command if something happens to him. And easy.
And remember this about Kamala. She was not selected. She was selected. She was not voted by the voters. She was selected. Black people overwhelmingly rejected her in her bid for the presidency.
And not just Black people, a lot of people did, right? Her campaign even went bankrupt. And Easy says, I'm sick of words. I need action. I know that's right. And Jarvis says, Hillary was definitely the most corrupt candidate. Yes, she was. And, anybody trying to say she wasn't and just don't know the facts. Only Pamela's Way says, Demetra, they're planning UBI, 15-minute cities and digital IDs, a whole lot of other stuff. Nothing good. Yeah, it can't be too much worse than what we're going through now, right? I mean, there's a lot going on. And Deborah, how you doing? If I didn't already, how you doing? It says, clean it up. The United States of a government gives us all rights, reparations. Let's see, all rights, reparations, unless clear that stop playing. They blame us for voting Democrats. Now it has not even been a vote yet for us to claim reparations. Kind of jumbled. I know sometimes it gets messed up. If you want to retype that. Ashley says, stop supporting white businesses or any business that's not going to, help the Black community. And that's basically all of them, right? Sudie Van, he says, exactly. Them folks don't like Hillary with her policies. I would never vote for her either. Yep. Rain says, more qualified to retire and be a decent grandmother to her grandchildren. Yeah, she needs to go on somewhere. It also came out that, the FBI and the Justice Department knew that Hillary Clinton was probably lying on Donald Trump. And when they got the notification and the alerts that Hillary was making some stuff up, they kind of shrugged their shoulders like, what's for dinner? And it also said that Biden and Obama knew there's a possibility that Hillary was making some stuff up on Trump and him colluding with that Putin trying to throw off the American election. So,
and you guys, please do not forget, when they requested her server, she had it smashed to bits. She had, talk about obstruction. They never went and charged her with obstruction, but she smashed her server.
Hello, Ragnar. How are you doing? And he says, Donovan, and she carried hot sauce in her purse. Truly qualified. Yeah. She was asked on the Breakfast Club, do you carry hot sauce in your bag? And she says, yeah, and somebody said something to her. And she says, well, it works. It's working. So she wasn't making a secret that she was pandering. And Sister B, how you doing? Says Kamala will be the first woman president. And you said that somebody prophesized that she would be that. I mean, stranger things have happened. She very well may be. I mean, Biden will be 86 years old if he does get reelected at the second end of his second term. So that's pretty up there. So.
But as Generation Xers, Yers, and Millennials, Why are these baby boomers still in power? The average time of a generation to be in power is about 20 years. These baby boomers just will not let go of power. Is it bad enough that they've run this country into the ground with their free love and totally rejecting the traditional things that they were taught growing up? I mean, it's incredible that we are letting if this man wins, he'll be 82 years old. 82-year-old man. And Donald Trump is only 3 years younger than Joe Biden. A lot of people don't know that. He's only 3 years younger. Why are these people still in power?
Absolutely. Let's see. Somebody said something. Common man. He say Donald Trump ran a multinational corporation. He says, and that is what's needed. A born leader, not a lifelong politician. 100% facts. I mean, I agree with that. You know, I hate when people say, I've worked with people and they use the line, I'm not a politician. I'm like, cut the crap. You are a politician. Stop saying that.
That's why,
you know,
that's why you're joining.
I get why you're saying it, because I'm trying to, you know, make the difference between me and those guys. But it's like, you're a politician. That's what this is called, politics. But yeah, business is important because the United States is, I guess, a business to a certain degree. But I think it's helpful that you know a little something. And to say that Donald Trump was more qualified than Hillary, I just don't think that. I mean, we could look and see the records that wasn't true.
Yeah, if you look through your history, most of the worst presidents that we have ever had were businessmen. Most of them. Go look it up. The most corrupted one before Trump was Warren G. Harding. His administration was riddled with corruption, and he ended up dying in office and all that other good stuff like that. But there's this misnomer that the Trump organization is this big multi-corporation thing. That's false. The Trump Corporation is a mom and pop operation. Leasing your name on buildings all over the world does not mean you are a multi-corporation. That's not true. But that's the illusion, because Donald Trump is the P.T. Barnum of the 21st century. That's the illusion he puts out there. But if you've been following these court cases, who are the top people in the Trump organization? Him and his children. That's not a multi-corporate corporation. Is the Trump organization selling stocks? No, they don't. So that's a false flag. I'm not saying, what you're saying is not right in the aspect. It is an organization, but it isn't this big successful thing. That's not true.
So easy. You say all politicians become millionaires. Not all, but a great amount of them do. I don't know. She might have $29 million, but that just sounds kind of high. Bernie Sanders, I think, well, he's been in Congress for all of his damn life. And I think he's only worth maybe, I don't know, the last time it looked like
no more than $6 million. Yeah. No more than $6 million. Yeah.
Who giving AOC damn near $30 million to do what?
Senator Obama was less than $1 million when he ran for president. And now that he is post-presidency, they say he's worth over $30 million.
Yeah, of course, he's got all these deals, Netflix and these book deals, podcasts. Yeah, he's got all that money coming, first black president, I guess. Yeah, that was bound to happen. Let's see here. And Tracy says AOC is allegedly $13 million. Now, that sounds better, but even still sounds kind of high, because GoFi is, and I hope I'm saying it right. How you doing? It says Biden is worth $3 million. So if Biden, I think that sounds kind of low, but maybe he is, right? If he's worth $3 million, how the hell is she worth all that money? Like, what is she really doing? You know what I mean? And Jarvis, you say the political landscape that we live in now is way too corrupt. They're all in the pockets of big pharma and big tech. Yeah, they're corporatists, especially that of Joe Biden. Now, I don't even know why we thought he wouldn't be. He said, I'm going to continue the status quo. So, and Diane says that sounds about right. You going to politics for the money. Yeah, we know that is true. A lot of politicians do come out wealthier than they went in. Of course, they get the little white envelope slid to them. But I'm just saying $30 million for AOC sounds kind of rather high. Donovan says reparations can be cash payments. Can only be cash payments. If I have land already, how do I get my reparations? It's only cash payouts. Yeah, I'll take cash, land. The Nation of Islam is asking for all that cash, land, and a whole host of other things. So we want it all because
Yeah.
that way. Hold on, the land that was taken from our people was quite a bit. It was. Don't give me the lying, but I want to say into the millions of acres that was stolen from our people and continue to be stolen. I did a story on a 93-year-old black woman that lives in South Carolina in the land, Gullah Geechee land, Hilton Heights, I think it's called, housing development property company wants to take her 2 acres that she's had in her family since the Civil War. So even to this moment, they're still trying to take land from us. And so we want money and we want land because they've given everybody else land and money.
Yeah, the world organization, whatever, has defined reparations as cash. And here's what they're going to do. I'm all for the land too, because that's what we owe as ADOS people. We should get land and cash. But this is what the Democrats and the Republicans do to make you take something else that's of a lesser value. That's why they're talking about programs. Have you noticed that? Oh, we want to give them, instead of cash, we're going to give you programs in this. Show me a successful government housing program. Show me a successful one. It usually turns into a nightmare in those, like, what was that housing, Betrini Greens or something in Chicago?
Cabrini
Greens, the 9th Ward, and all these housing projects. It's a nightmare. And see, they want you guys to take that and say, oh, we're going to put you in programs, which is a nightmare to grow up in and all this other stuff, right? But if you had your cash reparations and your cash money, you can go buy your own house. You can go pay for your own education. You could go pay for the best medical care. That's why reparations can only be defined as cash, because Demetra's educated. If they say, we're going to let Black people have free education. No, Demetra's already educated. So you've just denied her reparations. So how do you make it right? The only thing that's going to make it right is cash. And yes, 60% of us are going to trick the money off. I'm personally going to have the biggest stripper party ever if we get the cash reparations. But that's what I choose to do with my money. Demetra's going to do what she wants to do with her money, and you guys are going to do what you want to do with your money. But do not fall for the banana in the tailpipe of programs and all this other stuff. Don't let them do that to you.
Absolutely, Tracy. He says, I don't want no mule. I'm stubborn enough by myself, but they can give me the 40 acres. Yep. Give me the 40 acres too. I'll take a nice ride though, a tractor, because we're going to need something to do something with that 40 acres, right? So let's see here. Harry says, these are the words of Anthony Bauza. You say former chief of police in Cincinnati for 17 years and later chief of police in New York City. So he said, here are the words. He said the police have only 2 duties: to protect the lives and property of the wealthy. They perform these duties by keeping primarily young Black and brown men in their place. Makes sense to me. And Go Fight, as you say, Trump was bankrupt 6 times. His daddy gave him $400 million. I don't know about the 400 million. I know it was a couple of million a few different times, but 400 million, I think that's probably a high number. But yeah, he did help him out tremendously.
No, actually, his dad bailed him out $400 million when Donald Trump kept screwing up. His dad gave him $400 million that he just wasted to bail him out of situations. Yeah, it was $400 million.
400 million?
Yeah,
I didn't hear that
over
number,
the years.
Okay.
Yeah, it was 400 million. His dad keep bailing him out.
Common Man says, I'm a baby boomer and I'm only 61 years old. You're very young. He says, it's the first generation baby boomer that should be out of power. You still got the silent generation that's running things.
Mad Max Maxine.
Yeah, Clyburn, Maxine, and a couple of other ones. What's her face? Dianne Feinstein, who finally gave up the ghost. She ain't dead yet, but she gave up the ghost up in Congress. She's silent generation. That's the baby boomers' parents.
Mm-hmm. No, wait, did Feinstein resign, or did she just saying she's not going to run for re-election?
Well, same damn difference.
Or she doesn't remember. She said that she was going to do.
Yeah, I mean, because she hadn't showed up to work in a long time. They was like, "Damn, where's she at?" So she finally said she's not going to seek re-election at the 500th term. And Herbert says these are the words. Okay, I said that already. Okay, let's see here. Arniva, how you doing? He says Trump bankrupted the casino and the House is supposed to win.
Okay, well, here's the thing with the bankruptcy of the casino. Do you guys know it's statistically impossible to bankrupt a casino? Statistically, it's impossible. For every dollar that comes in the casino, the house gets 30 cents on every dollar that comes in there. How Donald Trump messed that casino up? He let the gangsters in that were skimming off the top. How many of you guys have seen the movie Casino? That's what was happening. They were skimming off the top, and they skimmed so that the thing went into the toilet.
It's one of my favorite movies, by the way. And so Common Man says, yes, they do have stock. Look it up. So I'm not sure who you're talking about because it kind of reads differently on my end.
Yeah, no, when he's talking about, when he's saying that, because I was saying that they don't sell stock, the Trump organization, they don't. What he's talking about, and I looked it up, he's talking about the Truth Social stock. That's not the same thing. That's not the same thing as Trump stock. They don't trade stock. It's a mom and pop operation.
Oh, so basically y'all saying they're not publicly traded. Is that what we're saying? Okay. I don't have any information on that. Dwayne, how you doing? He says, or Dewan. I keep messing your name up, but you know it's all love. He says, Yang is not for the descendants of American slaves getting our stolen reparations returned to our people. Now he gonna be, you know, for them folks. And he just is, but shit, I cussed. At least he was saying give $1,000 to $2,000 a month, right? A lot of people could use that. And Damian, how you doing? It says AOC is Forbes rated at 13 million. So okay, but 30, yeah, that's kind of high. Even $13 million is really high. But you got to remember too, and I don't really mess with AOC like that. She's fairly young. I would imagine she's a millennial of the millennial generation. So she probably does a lot of other things. I know she's done some movies and podcasts and, you know, stuff like that. So I'm sure maybe that's where some of her money comes from. Of course, we, you know, could only imagine she probably does get little white envelopes slid her way as well. Because I remember when AOC first got in there, she was going to do the damn thing, right? She was going against the system. They call them the freshman class. You know, her and her homegirls, they was going to go in there and make a change. And Nancy Pelosi said, shut y'all asses up. Sit down when grown folks are talking. And that's kind of what they did ever since. So, Rain talking about Obama is a grifter. Obama got his coins. That's what he did for sure. Maxwell says Bernie did politics wrong if he's not wealthy. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess a couple of $1 million or so is considered wealthy, but you know, he was considered a politician for the people. And I think that's a fair assessment of Bernie Sanders. So yeah,
well, you got to remember Bernie Sanders is a Jewish senator, and he doesn't want you to have reparations, but he made sure his people got reparations, right? He's all against that. Now, being of a very smart guy and of Jewish background, I'm very sure when Bernie exits, all kinds of stuff is going to be triggered and pop because, you know, you never underestimate these type of people. They know what they're doing.
Absolutely. Wins Fair Claw, how you doing? Yeah, you're absolutely right. Politicians go in for the money, public servants go in for the people. And I think that sums up probably that of Bernie Sanders, who was, you know, pretty up there himself, you know. Go Fight, he said, you want your meal. Okay, well, you know, it's probably a lot cheaper than a lot of other things. Janelle, how you doing? He says, I'm broke. I think I'll run for mayor against Brown, Jail, Cinnabon Lee. Also, you silly. It's, Sheila Jackson Lee is running for the city of Houston, the mayoralship. Yeah, go ahead. I'd vote for you. I really would. And Arneva, you say, I don't believe AOC is worth 13 million. She may not be worth 1 million. Well, they're saying Forbes is clocking her in at 13 million. That's where a lot of people go for the source to see who is worth what. So I don't know. It's possible, but $30 million, I just wasn't going to go for that. Michael, so you're speaking to somebody else, and Damian says, like it or not, like it or lump it. He says, all this land in America is ours. Yep, I believe it. And Life Alliance Group, how you doing? It says, most of my people are Gullah Geechee descent. So sure you're very, very familiar with what's going on with the woman there in South Carolina, where that corporation is trying to build 147 houses on her land, and they are literally building around her, and they even went as far as to say she don't really own it. And then she's like, now that's a lie from the pit of hell, but guess what? You ain't gonna take my land. She said that they've encroached upon her land, a whole host of stuff. So even to this day, they're still trying to take our land. So yes, we are owed land and money. Wins Fair Claw programs are for everybody. They're not specific, right? Because they can't say, well, this is just for Black people. they'll probably try to make it sound like that, but they really can't do that. That's why they use the words diversity and inclusion, people of color, in minorities. They don't really use that as much, but they used to, right? Yes, Tito Sanders is the projects, Cabrini Green. I'm gonna skip down. And how you doing, Bakari? What's going on with you? And Marshawn, how you doing? So my apartment is a nightmare and a job, especially my apartment, shaking my head. But hey, D and Don. Well, what's going on with your apartment? I think I've seen you mention that once before. And Easy says, D and Donovan, everyone interested in reparations, please get this book from here to Equality by William A. Darity Jr. and Christian Mullen. He is an economist and breaks it down. I've heard of him before. So I have to check it out, as I like to read. And let's see here. I'm going to skip down a little bit just to catch up a little bit. Jessica Jackson, how you doing? He says, hey, Demetra K. and Donovan. Didn't get notification. Got to catch it from the beginning. I am sorry about that. I don't know what's going on with the notification thing. Hello, Mr. Barr.
Well,
how are you doing?
I called YouTube myself and told them to shut you down. Remember, by the way, I need 2,000 signatures to get Demetra off the internet because she's dropping too much damn knowledge.
Good luck with that. Mr. Barr, how you doing? Says Trump, Biden, America. Says, love your show, Demetra Kane. I love you too. Thank you so much. And Moni, you say, I would really much prefer to see Mitt Romney. I think would have a better shot if I had to choose, far better than Ron DeSantis. It would be far worse. You'll be sorry with Ron. Well, I don't think Ron will even get on the ticket because he's trailing Trump by like 30 something percentage point. So it sounds good. I mean, I think Trump at this point would have to do so. I don't even know what major is for Trump at this point, because y'all know Trump has done it all and his party is still behind him very staunchly. So I don't even know why Ron got up in there, to be honest with you. But, you know, I don't know. I think it's really going to be Trump, honestly, which is why he's in a million lawsuits, even as we speak. Herbert says, no one wears diapers, as do T-Rump and Jim Crow Joe, should ever be in elected office on taxpayer money. Yeah, they're pretty up there. And like someone else said, Trump is, you know, going to be in his 80s as well. So you got these very older, seasoned men that's still trying to run the country on very antiquated ideas. So, yeah, it's crazy.
Hey, Demetra, I got a question for those that are out there. If the Democratic Party is so great for Black people, what happened to the student forgiveness thing? Has anybody forgot about that?
Nah, they said the Republicans is like, it ain't happening. Y'all got to start paying back this money. And the crazy part is Joe wasn't serious about that. Joe, with the stroke of a pen, could say, done. Go wipe it. I mean, he's writing checks to Ukraine. He could do that in a stroke of a pen. So listen, Joe Biden know good and hell well, he better not piss off the banks, because the banks are making a lot of interest from those student loan debts. So Joe made it sound good, but you see that big giant fight he's putting up for the American people in the student loan debt? Of course you don't, because he's like, well, I tried. He didn't try hard enough. And the Wins Fair Clyde says, welfare programs, housing programs, Homestead Act gave them farmland. Give Afro-Americans their Homestead Act. Absolutely. We want our land.
And I have another question for our co-hosts out there. Why is it, do you think, that they won't do anything for Black people, but they will do for everybody else? Why is it that they are so resistant to Black people getting anything? I mean, we can't get anything without a fight or a struggle. Why do you think that is?
They don't like Black people. It's just that simple. Hello, QT Gaming family. Long time no see. They don't like Black people. They didn't bring Black people over here to experience rights, equality, and, you know, all. They didn't bring us over here for that. We were brought over here as product, chattel. We were no better than cows. You know what I mean? And we are, but I'm saying to them, we were a means of making them money. And so even all these years later, it's passed down to their descendants that they don't like Black people. Black people are a burden as far as they're concerned, which is why you see all these narratives going forth that Black people are the devil, Black people are using a race card, and all this other stuff. They just simply do not like Black people, because they know that it is Black people that are truly the superior people. And case in point, as Walter always says, they didn't go kidnap no weak people when they brought Black people over to do slavery. And I know there was some black people here already for the sake of argument, but they didn't go get no weak people. They went and got the strongest people known to man and still the strongest people known to man. How the hell does a black people, people like ourselves, go through what we've going through, and still we're here?
Right. I agree with that answer. And in regards to reparations, okay, if you can't pay us the minimum $17 trillion of what you owe us, what do they do with you guys when it comes to your student loan plans? They put you on a payment plan, right? Demetra, are you willing to accept a payment plan for your reparations?
No, I'm not willing to accept no payment plan for my reparations. Break me off my check.
Right. But if that's all they can do right now, would you accept that? They say, okay, we're going to give you $250,000 a year.
If I could get it in writing a contract, I
just like a student loan. Just like a student loan.
Yeah, if they gonna make it a contract, I do it.
So when you guys go to your city council meetings or these congressional town halls and stuff, and they talk and you bring up the reparations, they start talking about, well, the money, this, that. Start talking about a payment plan. We will accept the payment plan. $100,000 down now, plus $100,000 this with 10% interest. All you brothers out there that pay child support, ain't that what they put us on based on what our income is and all this other stuff? So don't let them back you into a corner talking about we can't pay. Okay, we get it. $17 trillion out the bucket is a lot of money. We are willing to put you on a payment plan with interest.
Yep. And Jessica, you make a very excellent point. It says when they stay in office too long, they get so well connected and owe so many favors that at some point they are no longer effective. Yeah, they're just like, I'm not even going to pretend that I'm going to do for my constituents. I mean, even to the point of they kind of make the rounds a little bit when they're campaigning. They put up a bunch of yard signs because they already know their people gonna vote for them, and it's like I ain't never did nothing for these people. I ain't even fixed the potholes, put no trees in their neighborhood, made sure they had good drinking. Well, I ain't done nothing for them. They'll show up to vote, and I'm gonna continue getting these kickbacks from the lobbyists and everybody else who's gonna slide me the white envelope.
The new mayor in Chicago, he wasn't even in there 2 days, and he abandoned everything he was talking about. He became a Democratic shill for the migrants immediately. But what are we going to do about it? So I have some friends in Chicago. I told them, yeah, what you guys need to do is make him a one-term mayor, period. And big ups to the Chicago people for pushing back against the migrants because they're bringing those people in there to replace us.
Yeah, I mean, as far as Brandon Johnson, the new mayor of Chicago, I mean, he talked a good game. Well, you know, when they was still trying to bring the migrants into the Black community South side, he was like, well, we got to do for the people here first before we could think about doing for them. You know, he was talking all of that. And of course, you know, he said what he had to say. But if he was a wise man, he would look at his predecessor and say she was a one-term mayor within, 40-year history that it hadn't been. Mayors were reelected up until Lori Lightfoot. You would think he would say, okay, Black folks ain't playing, especially here in Chicago, because they are rendering pushback. Like, nah, we ain't going. We're not doing this no more with y'all. Y'all not moving them in here. Y'all gonna do for us. Otherwise, it's gonna be hell to pay. And so he can, F around and find out if he want to. And I hope that the people of Chicago stick it to him something awful when he go pandering for their votes again.
Look at Eric Adams. Put it like this. Eric Adams sees the writing on the wall himself and the real issues. He came in as a Democrat talking about, we got to help the migrants. And then when he saw what a burden migrants put on the social safety net for regular citizens, what's Eric Adams saying now? He's telling the truth. He's saying, look, if Biden wants to do all of this stuff, we need more federal dollars to house these people because in the long term, we're paying for it. The regular citizen is paying for it. The federal government needs to protect the border. That is what one of their main jobs to do, and they're not doing it.
Absolutely. And Damian, you say we should decide now how we're going to respond when they ask us to fight their upcoming war. Now, I totally agree with you. I saw this guy that did a story on it. It's not edited yet. It'll be on the African Diaspora News Channel in the following week. Of a Republican, he was speaking to the Republican Party saying, hey, whether it's Ron DeSantis or it's Donald Trump, we all need to get on the same page. All this fighting that we're doing, that's splitting our party up. It needs to stop. We need to fight against the Democrats and get Biden out of there. So they're saying the same thing you just said. We need to figure out what we're going to do and stick to it, unify, so we can get what we need. And so what we need to do that. But, unfortunately, I don't know if we're going to do that. I think it's going to take some time. I hope that we do, but, only time will tell. And our QT says that's why they only talk about slavery while none of us were slaves. Millions of us have suffered very real financial damages today. Yeah, I mean, slavery is over unless you're thinking about the penal, the prison system. I was gonna say something else, but I always get that wrong. So I'm gonna say the prison system. There's a lot of our people in there. Disproportionately, there's more Black people in prison than there are anybody else, and that includes death row. So not only just that, incarceration, but the brutality that Black people suffer by the hands of police, the stealing of our land, and the racism that we experience everywhere you can think of, right? So the institutional and systemic racism has not ended for us as Black people, still going on. I mean, hell, we can't even get a bill that specifically protects us like everybody else has, right? So yeah, we're still suffering. And Go for Isaac says they're running for vice president. And I'm sorry, I don't know who that is, but hey, Kimmy, how you doing? And Angela, how you doing? Thank you so much for that donation. Love and appreciate you for that. And let's see here. John Ivory, how you doing? Says hello, Demetra and Donovan. Sorry, I didn't get the notification that you were live. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. I do apologize. I'm sure it's something on YouTube's end. And QT says they came after my house using illegal warrant, and when they didn't work, they threatened to come for my children. When I fled with my children, my home was vandalized. Oh my God! And where are you at, if you don't mind me asking? That is crazy. They can donate to campaigns, but even if they don't do it up front, they do it in the back door. It ain't gonna say it's from like J.P. Morgan Chase or Bank of America. It's going to be something nefarious, right? So they never tell you all the money that they're getting. The dark money is what they call it. Shawnee say, 2 presidents that took part in Jim Crow. I don't know how are people voting for either one of them. So he's talking about Biden and Trump. Yeah, they were pretty much around for that, right? You know what that's, you really think about it? Yeah, they were there. QT says, I'm paying taxes and upkeep on my home to this day and can't live in it while paying rent where I am. I personally own our old reparations. Wow. Do tell. We're going to have you on the show so we can get more of what's going on with your story. Easy says, well, my sister-in-law got her PhD in pharmacy student loan forgiven. Yeah, there's a lot of student loan forgiveness programs going on out there. You just got to kind of find them. Damian says they resist us because this is our land. Please know this. Oh, absolutely. And DJ PD says they don't like us and they want us to be at the bottom caste. Absolutely. And they've been trying to, we already are, right? But they're trying to keep us that way. Another thing too, I've seen a lot of people say, well, when I get my reparations, I'm out of here. And that's part of the problem. They ain't trying to let Black people leave. Who else is going to, really do these service industry jobs and things like that and help fill their prison systems? They're like, some of y'all can leave, but we know y'all trying to get up out of here if y'all get a knot in your pocket. And Diwani says the Democrats have delivered on nothing for Black Americans, especially reparations. They've been too busy trying to outsource the Black vote and lying about voters' rights. Absolutely, because ask yourself, what voter rights do you really have? And if we did have voter rights, we go into the booth and vote for wrong. We keep voting for oppression. So what good is it really doing us at this point if we're misusing the vote that we have?
And I got a better question than that. Where in a country in the world do illegals get the right to vote in a country? And what is the Democratic Party doing in some of these major cities? They are trying to allow illegal migrants to vote, to take your voice away so that resources could go to them because they know they're losing the Black vote. Only in this country can you try to go to Mexico. I'm in California. Try to go to Mexico illegally and see what happens to your ass.
Yeah. And Tracy says they're afraid if they give us reparations and we come together that we will gain our power back. then do to them what they did to us. But we aren't evil like that. Yeah, that's exactly what they're afraid of. But you know what? If you believe in karma and do unto others as you would have them do unto you, you know you got to get that back. You just have to, right? Whether you do good or bad, it's gonna come back to you. So you know they got it coming back. I mean, the horrors that they exacted upon Black people, they think they should just be able to say, God is good, God is great. I'm gonna, go to sleep and whatever, and that's gonna be the end of it. That's not how that works. And hello, Mr. Evans, how you doing today? And Damon, how are you? Says late to the show. Positive vibes to all in the chat. Mrs. K and Donovan, yes indeed. Black America says if they do, that milk will be $10,000 a gallon. So you said basically if they give us reparations, is that what you're saying? The milk ain't with Black people really don't jive with milk like that anyway. So we shouldn't even be buying it. Arneva says they hate us because they know what is prophesied about us and their secret societies, and that is to come into power again. Yep, they know. That's why they're doing everything. But as I always say, and it's been said before, you cannot out legislate the will of God. You cannot do it. As hard as you try, you won't be able to do it. Jessica says, I ask you guys this while live. Do you think things like affirmative action and past housing laws and past social programs should be considered as forms of reparation? I heard that before. No, because we know that reparations was not specifically for Black people. In fact, white women were the biggest benefactors of affirmative action because, as Dr. Claude Anderson says, whenever you call yourself a minority, a lot of people fit into that category. And so white women are considered a minority, right? Or marginalized people. So they're the ones that benefited from it. So no, actually Black people benefited from affirmative action the least. So that's not considered reparations. We're speaking of reparations that's specifically for us as Black people, and
right.
We want money.
Affirmative action also started these little splinter groups. LGBTQ is now considered a minority and stuff like that. It just splinters and just waters the whole thing down. Affirmative action was specifically for Black people. That's what it was formed for in the 1960s. And now everybody else got a piece of the pie.
Yep. And pro-Blacktive, how you doing? It says, in my humble opinion, I think we will not do them evil. I believe the real issue is if we become financially independent, they will take a huge financial loss. That's exactly what it is. A lot of people say they leave and they don't want us to leave. They want us to stay. And I heard says,
I have another question real quick, people. Do you know what is really going to help push our agenda to what us getting reparations is this? Now, Demetra knows I was raised in Asia, so I have a lot of Asian friends. Michael's a good friend of mine. He's from the Asian area. Have you noticed that whenever a George Floyd thing happens, or we're talking about reparations, or we're talking about better health care, or we're talking about land for Black people, all of your liberal friends are quiet. I go to city council meetings, even when the ones they show on TV in Chicago and stuff. You don't see the Latin that tells you in private, oh yeah, y'all need this and y'all need that. You never see them out there speaking for Black people. So ask your friends when they are doing this. Say, hey, you need to speak up, because when they needed their stuff, why is it that we are always speaking up for them, but they never speak for us? There was a video, I don't know if you saw it, Demetra, where this Hispanic girl, I think she was down in Florida, and she was talking about the DeSantis thing. And she was saying, it's now time for the Black brothers and sisters to come together and all this other stuff. And all these Black folks were like, hell no, you're on your own. Y'all don't speak for us. Y'all don't speak up for us. We're not going to speak up for you. And that's what we got to start doing. We got to start calling these people out. And me and Michael have talked about that. It's going to take people like Michael and some of my friends that are silent when they see a Black man getting choked out and murdered on national TV. In private, they love to tell me how much they support everything, but I don't see them on the platform with me.
Yes, indeed. All right, so let's see here. I'm going to try to catch up with the comments a little bit. Common Man says, Donald Trump has never played a part in Jim Crow. Where the hell did that come from? I said that he was around for Jim Crow. I said they both have actually been around long enough. In the Jim Crow era, I mean, they just have. So as far as him playing a part in Jim Crow, I mean, I do know that him and his dad, discriminated against Black people from renting their apartments. So that's a form of Jim Crow. Would you at least admit that? Add you to the stream, Black America. Let me catch up to these comments. Comment man says y'all believe everything you hear. What the F? I mean, I'm just saying let's do some deductive reasoning here. And Gustavo, how you doing, by the way? He says, I know these reparations don't apply to me because I'm not FBA, but I do support reparations for FBA, and we appreciate you for that. We actually need more people to get behind the cause for reparations, because you know the history of Black people in America, and you even studied it a little bit, you'd have to come to the conclusion, well, yeah, these people are owed something for what has happened to their people and still happening to them. So we appreciate that. Pro Black Group says Donald Trump's father is a Klansman. You have been fooled. I'm just gonna keep on reading, but yeah.
Well, you know, I just want to say this. I don't think there's any evidence that you can actually outright say he's a Klansman. Would I say he supports the Klan? Yes, I would say that.
I mean, you know, Donald Trump has not done a lot. I mean, in the statement that he did make against the Klan, he was forced to do that, you know, to denounce and say the Proud Boys were a hate group or something like that. I mean, so what I'm not going to do, because a lot of times we get accused of supporting Donald Trump. What I'm not going to do is lie to kick it for Donald Trump. Donald Trump, I don't know if he's necessarily like full-on Klansman or whatever the case is, but yeah, he ain't too keen on Black people either. So I don't know. Black America, what's going on with you?
Hello, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
All right. Good afternoon, AD and A Donovan. How are you today? I just got a couple of tidbits because it might get loud. Yeah, Donald, Mr. Trump is straight Klan. He's hood and no good. His dad got arrested actually at a Klan rally or something like that. It's true facts. Look it up. He did do redlining. And the thing with Black people or helping Black people, you have to look at history. Anyone throughout history in this country that has helped Black people have ended up shot. And I mean, all the way from Abraham Lincoln to everybody else that they have taken out and taken care of because of either trying to help or advance Black people. I mean, it's just part of history of this country. So with reparations, yeah, good luck with that. They be having to ride around like the Pope in a glass box all the time. And it was something else. I should have wrote something down. I can't write nothing down. What y'all got to say to that?
Well, what is specifically the question you want us to answer? And Craig, I'll answer your question in just a second. Black America, what? Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't have a question. It was just more of a statement as far as like people talking about reparations. And I'm saying it's if anybody was to do that and try and go out on a limb and help Black people, they would end up dead. They would.
And who is this they? I'm sorry.
The slaves.
You kind of cut out a little bit. You're cutting out, yeah.
Okay. I'm going under some.
All right. Well, until your sound comes back, let's see here. Craig, he said, "What did Ice Cube say?" Just got in. Well, he basically said to I'm gonna call him a troll, a Democrat, who said that Ice Cube only shows up every 4 years to tell Black people, I guess, to not vote for the Democrats. And Ice Cube basically, I'm trying to mute your mic. Let me see. Hold on a second. I can't mute it for it. I'm gonna put you down here for just a second. And Ice Cube basically said, stop lying on me. He says, nobody told your black ass to not vote for the Democrats. He said, stop lying on me is basically what he said when he was asked on a podcast about black people and their relationship with the Republican Party. He says something's got to change, but he didn't say to flat out denounce the Democrat Party. But that's what was said about him. And, he let him have it. For a lack of better words. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and skip down. An epic gentleman. How you doing? It says, wait a minute. Latinos have stood hand in hand with African-American people during protests. The issue is that today it could be Latinos. Tomorrow it could be our African-American brothers and sisters. Yeah, I mean, I just kind of, and I thank you so much for joining. I kind of want to be careful of how I phrase this. I want to say I really believe it's kind of the other way around. And just speaking from a member of the Black community, Black people help everybody. Black people help everybody, and sometimes and oftentimes to a detriment to our own selves, right? We are there for everybody else. Case in point with the Democratic Party, Black people are the most loyal voter to the Democratic Party. Without Black people, Democrats could not be in office nowhere. But once they get in office, they help everybody else, including your people. But Black people, they continuously thumb their nose at us and the Black community who helped them get into office. And they help everybody else. So as far as Latino people standing hand in hand with African-American people, no disrespect. I really just kind of think it's been the other way around. And I know for a fact that everybody else's community, including the Latino community, has benefited from the work of the Black community, civil rights movement, and all the horrors that we were exacted upon us. Now, I'm not stupid. I know that Latino people, especially Mexicans, this land belonged to you guys as well, and it was taken from y'all. But I'll tell you one thing. I was just in California, and y'all taking that mug back. As you guys said that you would do. But listen, I'm not mad at Hispanic people. I ain't mad at Latino. I ain't mad at nobody. I'm not mad at y'all. You know why I ain't mad at y'all? Because y'all doing what y'all supposed to be doing. Y'all are uniting, y'all organizing, and y'all taking back what was taken from y'all. That's what Black people should be doing. And I always say this, I'm never going to be mad at Latinos, Asians, or anybody else. We need to take a cue from y'all. Let's organize. Let's do for self, as we've been told to do so many years ago from that of Marcus Garvey. Do for self. Y'all doing for self, so I'm not mad at you. But I tend to think that it's really the other way around, not just with your community, but with everybody else. So I hope that helps. Let me scroll down a little bit to catch up a little bit. I know we are a little bit behind. I want to get everybody who that I have not acknowledged yet. Dimple Face, how you doing? It says Donald J. Trump definitely hates us. Still didn't apologize to the sure did not. Central Park 5 didn't apologize for the S-hole countries, mud hut remarks, etc. Yeah, he said those things, and he was very instrumental in demonizing and harming the lives of the Central Park. What do they call them? Survivors now, or I forget what they call exonerated. I think is what they call them. Central Park 5 in the 80s, where they were accused of raping a white woman. Donald Trump took out a full-page ad, a few of them, talking about they deserved the death penalty. In fact, once they were exonerated and got all that money not too long ago, the movie came out and all that, he said, I don't take back nothing I said. I still believe that they were guilty, even though it was proven that they weren't. So to sit up here and try to say Donald Trump loves Black people, he loves Black people that will bust a mean sand dance for him. Put it that way. And then he don't even know them because that Diamond and Silk funeral was a Silk or Diamond or whenever one to die. He was like, oh, I ain't never met. And I'm paraphrasing because I'm saying the way I said. He said, I ain't never met you before. He talking about the other sister that would be, shucking and bucking. And
yeah, the one that always co-signs. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he talking about, I ain't never met you before. It's like, you got to copy some of the pictures and you booed up with them. What are you talking about? So, you know what I'm saying? Herbert, he said there is no Black and brown coalition, not enough brown to justify. Yeah, I think that's just the truth. It's not. But the other thing too is we as Black people, one, we need to stop helping everybody else, and two, stop looking for people to be in coalition with us, especially people who, and as we've heard this many times before, the president of LULAC, Felix Tiarina, and a couple other presidents of LULAC, the Latino organization, says we're not interested in aligning with Black people. Let the Negro help themselves. They've all been on record saying that, so they've said it clearly. We don't need Negroes, and they don't. We need to get in a position where we don't need them, and that's not being mean. Everybody should be self-sufficient. As I always give the example, you got 5 pieces of bread. Your neighbor comes over and say, hey, listen, I got 5 mouths to feed. Let me get 5 pieces of your bread. And you're like, well, all I got is 5 pieces, but you know what? I'm going to give it to you anyway. That's what we as Black people do. We give our only piece of bread away to help somebody else, and then we talk about we need somebody to help us. No, do for self.
Yeah, you know, as a military man, we always say this. If you're not willing to fight for your own freedom, you don't deserve to be free. You have to fight for it, not somebody else, somebody coming to your country and doing all that. You don't deserve to be free. Simple as that.
Yeah, and then Trump did say that, they told the police, you're not being rough enough. Bump their head on the car and all that other stuff. So, I mean,
now he might be getting bumped in the head.
Listen, Trump ain't going to see no parts of no jail. It's all kabuki theater, Now, with that being said, we've been asked time and time again to vote for the lesser of two evils. If you do your research, study, use Google as your friend, you will see that the lesser of two evils is actually Donald Trump, really, because Joe Biden and Donald Trump are very racist people and do not like Black people. They are on record with the shenanigans against Black people. So if you're asking, we got to make a decision. You got to choose. You can't stay home. You got to make a choice. All right. If you're asking me to choose, then it's going to be Donald Trump. Because that's my informed decision, right? I'm not voting on emotions. I'm not going because vote blue no matter who or whatever, all that other nonsense. I'm making a rational, logical decision, as we all should be doing when we go in there, All right, let's see here. Absolutely, Tracy. Abraham Lincoln did not want to free our people. He says if it was best for the Union, if it means keeping the Union together, the South and the North, to keep Black people in slavery, then so be it. And if it means freeing them, so be it. So we get sold that in grade school. Oh, Abraham Lincoln, he was a good old man, honest Abe, all that other stuff. He had slaves too. He did.
Right. And then after the Civil War, one of the plans that Lincoln had was to ship the Black people to Liberia in Africa. That was, he's going to round us all up and ship us out of here. That was, if he had lived, that was his plan.
That's exactly what was going to happen. And a common man, you say, y'all trying to tell me what I know, or I ain't trying to tell you. No, I ain't trying to tell you what you know. Says I grew up in New Jersey, 10 minutes away from downtown Manhattan. Dude has no idea what he's talking about. I was there. You guys weren't. I mean, was you there? Like you was living in New Jersey, but was you hauled up under Trump like that? Was you near his golden toilets? Was you in the board meetings when he was like common man? Was you up in, because I hear what you saying, and I know you got a little bit of, age upon us. You ain't that much older than us, though. You're not even 10 years older than we are, okay? But anyway, you wasn't privy to what Donald Trump was doing. Come on, let's not kid ourselves, right? But let's not also try to make it seem like Donald Trump was this, man that loved Black people. We saw Donald Trump with a lot of Black people. Malcolm X told us to ask ourselves, are white people friendly or are they our friends? Donald Trump was being friendly to the Negroes that idolized him, okay? Now, does he absolutely love his African Americans? I don't think so, but I'm not trying to tell you what you know now. You might have been there. I don't know. Go for Ice. He said Ice Cube was offered a deal by Republicans and Democrats. Ice Cube took the Republican deal. He actually did not take a deal because it is not a deal for Ice Cube to take. He does not have any decision-making ability. He offered his plan. So to say that Ice Cube took a deal, in what capacity could Ice Cube even do that? He doesn't hold office or anything like that. So if you don't mind, how could he have even taken that deal? You know what I mean? There was one offered, but as far as him taking it, how could he even do that, right? Let's see here. Asha, you say, where's our reparation? And QT says, well, I'm not voting Republican. He says, well, I'm sorry, I'm voting Republican. I'm not getting ish no matter what. So I'm throwing the game. And a lot of people are doing that, saying it's a protest vote because they're tired of the Democrats taking black people and our votes for granted. So, I mean, it's all right to do what we want with it, right? It just is. You can't tell us what to do. And let's see here. I'm just going to skip down. Yes, Craig, good for Ice Cube. I'm glad he clapped back. Yeah, Ice Cube, he seems like a very peaceful man, but don't play with him, And Queen Trey got it. She says, you guys were never, ever there. And there where? I'm sorry. I know the comments are belabored and easy. You say you totally disagree. Let's see. Okay, I think we're talking about the comment that I had up. So, okay, I know where we're at now. Rain says Latinos, Hispanics have never stood with foundational Black Americans ever. And that's what I'm saying. I mean, I don't want to say none of them have, but overall, it's usually been the other way around. Black people stand with everybody else. Everybody else benefits from it. And then pretend like, because I'll tell you this much. And to the gentleman that was on here, excuse me, Epic. We know, statistically speaking, that most Americans outside of Black people do not want Black people to get reparations. Now, that is also true for the Latino community. They don't want Black people over, the majority of them do not want Black people to get reparations. And so the best way to stand with the people is stand with the people and say, pretty soon, because we know that why they're bringing Hispanics over to America to make them, as they say, the buffer class to take over where Black people have left off, or actually, make it better for the Democrats or whatever. But y'all could use your voice and say, well, we ain't going to vote for y'all either until y'all get Black people reparations. Y'all could do that. That's how you really stand hand in hand with Black people. Wouldn't you agree?
Right. And then let me just add on to that. I mean, everybody comes from their own different aspect of how they see things. But out of anybody in Congress, Epic, who is the one that is fighting for migrants more so than any other congressional group? The Black Caucus, the CBC. I never hear, and I know there's a Latino caucus, but who is doing most of the lifting? Who is the one on TV shows and saying, well, the migrants, we got to do this for the migrants. We got to help bring them in. We got to do this. A mayor just in Chicago, the new mayor, in his inauguration speech, he was talking about being a benevolent society and doing the right thing for migrants coming to this country. He didn't say one thing about his own people, not one thing. So, I understand your point of view, but if you look at it at its face value, nobody speaks up for other groups than the CBC. The CBC doesn't speak for Black people. Show me one time where the Latino caucus spoke up when George Floyd got murdered. You didn't see them on TV. You didn't see them getting upset. You didn't see a thing. They might have said it behind closed doors. I don't remember AOC being outraged at George Floyd being murdered on the congressional floor, getting it in the public record. You don't see that, but you see hundreds, at least several Black congressmen always talking about migrant rights and this and that and all this other stuff. So, those are the facts. Those are just the facts.
Brother Samuel said Latinos and Blacks are one and the same people. Whites works not to let that connection be known. So you're saying they work to against that. And that's true. Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that the white man, everywhere he has gone all over the world, has messed with everybody, right? And they have made us believe that we are enemies. And that's how we've been operating because that's just the mischief that they keep up. But they have been destructive to everybody. And you would think that everybody else, Asians, Blacks, Latinos, and everybody else who I guess is considered marginalized will say, hey, you know what? We're not enemies. We know who the enemy is, but we allow them to make us think that we are enemies amongst each other when in fact they have been destructive to us all. It's just a fact, right? And Craig says, we have no friends. Dr. Clark said this years ago. Absolutely. And Queen Trey says, lots of your people come in and gentrify. Gentrification begins heavy. Your people are helping to hurt and harm our people. So you guys are having a conversation within the comment section. Okay. And Joanne, how you doing? Says that is not true. And he knows that he just wants controversy. They are very racist people. Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of other races of people have become racist against Black people, and it's like, why? We have paved the way for many other people to have it easy here in America. So why hate Black people? The very people who, if it wasn't for us, would not be benefiting from civil rights. It's for civil rights for us is a false idea because, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, what good is civil rights when you don't have human rights? So,
yeah, there was a Latino guy on YouTube. I do a lot of YouTube surfing, and he was saying that does the Latino community hate on the Black community when we're not the ones that is so-called holding them down? We don't have the purse strings. We're at the bottom of this pit. So for him as a Latino, he was like, I don't understand why we dog out the Black community when they're not the ones that have the power to do anything. Makes sense.
right. And Brother Jonell, how you doing? Says, even if Ice Cube did say it, right, denounce both parties, do for self, God is sufficient, you do better, begging Jesus and unifying and doing for self. That's empowerment. There is none in begging and depending on colonizer at histories and present day teachers. Oh, yeah, do for self. That's what everybody else does, do for self. I know the Democrats have us thinking we need them to do anything, and they wave that carrot in front of us, making us think that we're going to get it. That, of course, with the study of reparations, they've been studying that thing for years now. What else do you need to know? Black people were brought over here, and the Black people that were already here were forced into slavery, the most horrible thing that has ever happened to a people here in the United States of America and probably around the world. And we have not been paid reparations in any way, shape, or form for it. Period. The end. What else do we need to know here? What are you studying? You know how much money that was amassed through the institution of slavery, and even to this day, y'all count everything else, count our money, and write us a check. Matter of fact, you can wire mine into my bank account. I don't want no check in my bounce. Just wire me my money. Bakari says LA is 75% Latino, Hispanic mix, Moors, whatever they are. I think you meant, Los Angeles is heavily Latino, as with California, and really a lot of places in the United States. But again, I ain't mad. I'm not mad. They, doing what they said they were going to do. They were going to populate and take it back. See, the one thing about the Latino community, they have their babies. They don't, have the abortions the way Black women do. They have their babies, and they are taking it back by populating. That's how they are becoming the largest population in the United States. It's really simple mathematics, right? We know that there were things done to us in the Black community. Eugenics is one of them to help us from stop populating. A whole host of other things. We could be here forever, but they're like, no, we're going to have our babies, and we're going to practice group economics, and we're going to take back what was taken from us. It's really that simple. And Damian, you say, Ron the satanic down. If Florida has a plan that will backfire, AAPI history will force them to speak on something they've deliberately been quiet about, the Pacific slave trade. Laugh out loud. Well, yeah, they're doing that because they know that Asians are the wealthiest class in America, and they have power. But it's funny how Ron DeSantis says that we don't want y'all learning too much about African-American history. So, of course, it's all going to backfire whether they like it or not. All right. So, Black America, you are back. Hopefully we can hear you better.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, is that better?
Yes, much better.
Okay. So I had fell out for a second. So I forgot my last point, and I started listening to what you were saying. The problem is that, Demetra, I know you love saying Black community, but we don't have a Black community. And I had made a comment earlier, and Don have been responded to it. We can't get our women and our men on the same page. And without them being on the same page or one accord or even reading out of the same book, we have no community. There'll never be any Black people coming together and coming up. It just won't happen because we don't have a community. The women and the men's relationship is too contentious. And, you know, the women won't listen to the men. And it'll never happen at this point.
Um, I mean, I agree with you. I agree with you. From what we've seen, now the hopeful part of me is like, oh no, eventually will happen. I hope that it happens, but from what we see, yeah, that's just kind of like it's probably not in our lifetime, unfortunately, because we as Black people in America, we are just there's been a number done on us, right? We don't know how to uncondition our mind from the things that we have been taught and the things that have happened to us. And you're right, we don't have a community, as Dr. Claude Anderson say, we have neighborhoods. Communities actually are functional and that they can help each other and things like that. Like for instance, you can walk outside and there's a grocery store and things that actually help the community in that community. So you're right. We just live in neighborhoods right now. So no, there's no argument with you there. Hello,
And the
Catch My
thing,
Feelings.
oh, sorry
No, go
about
ahead.
that.
No, go ahead.
And the thing about the Latinos, as somebody was talking about the Black and Latinos, I remember living in LA when the Latinos was riding around, uh, popping off at Black people, even sitting on the bus stop because of a bill that they had came out called 187 years ago. You remember that in
I
the
remember.
90s, Donovan?
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So they are not our friends. They have never been our friends. They used us as a stepping stone, and we accept them. The problem is not we, not we. Certain people accept them, just like certain people accept all of the other splinter groups that you guys were referring to. You know, the guys that are like guys and things of that nature. And certain people in our group don't want to be exclusatory. So they accept all of these other people and include them into what we're doing, thinking that they're making our pot bigger, but they're making us weaker because we're certain segments like them, and then you have certain segments, straight men that don't like it. And the women say, "Oh, it's okay, they can come too," and we like, well, if they come into the party, I'm not bringing my cheeks, and that's a big part of that too.
Okay. Damian says Lincoln was a sleeve. Look it up. He was a Whig first. Absolutely. I mean, but that's the story they tell us about Abraham Lincoln. Even Obama, talks about he was his favorite president, and he quotes Abraham Lincoln a lot, and all these other things. It's like, cut it out. You know what I mean? Let's see here. Herbert, you say his wife and little girl were in the back seat. They talk about Philando Castile. Yes, indeed. And hello, Tanya. How you doing? And Dewani says, exactly, Demetra Trump isn't going to see no jail cell, just like Paul McCartney didn't see a jail cell for shipping millions of dollars of cocaine to kill the American people. Is Paul McCartney did this? And DSB, how you doing? Says, and I still see some of our people praising Abraham Lincoln today, knowing damn well the man was racist, right? And as I just said, Obama, he's notorious for that, right? Arneva says there are some agents in here. I could spot them by their slick words. Let me just go ahead and skip down a little bit so I could catch up. Sorry that I am behind a little bit. And Anita, he says, if I have to choose between a king cobra and an anaconda to vote for, I'm not choosing either one. Yeah, not voting is also a choice, whether you know it or not. Facts Not Feeling says Trump is less dangerous to blacks than DeSantis is. DeSantis already passed anti-black law in Florida. Trump did not pass anti-black law, right? He just made sure that his folks was all right. So yeah, DeSantis, that dude is something else. It's like, wow, I mean, even fighting with Disneyland. Disneyland punched his card though.
Yeah. And have you guys seen, I don't know if some of you guys haven't really processed this, but what they're trying to do is they're trying to bring more white people into the country. That's why when Trump was in office, he was like, no, we need to let the Norwegians in and all these other blue-eyed people in to bolster their numbers. I mean, the writing's on the wall for us. If we don't get our act together, it's a wrap.
Absolutely. And I'm just reading these comments before we get out of here. Michael, we're going to get out of here in just a couple of minutes. So I'm not going to bring anybody else up here, but next week, please come back, or we'll actually be back live, I think Tuesday. We're doing that live show on Tuesday as well, Tuesday evening at 5 p.m. And Joanne says, absolutely, they are flooding Black communities, not white or Hispanic communities. Yeah, another part of that is we're letting them. We're selling grandmama house and, and all that other stuff. So, that's some of that is on us, right?
Demetra, am I not the last Black person standing in my neighborhood? Am I not the last Black person?
Donovan said he ain't going no damn where, okay?
So what good would it do for them to give us the land? It's just like them people that got that beachfront property. They got that property back, beautiful property on the beach, and they sold it back to California for $20 million. Like, what good is it? And I know what you're talking about. Everybody selling their grandmama house or getting second loans on it and losing it. What good would it be to get the property if nobody wants it?
See, but here's the problem with that sale, though, Black America, is the fact that you got a lot of ignorant Black people out here. They want to take the easy route and just do it, because that was, to me, a dumb sale. He could have made millions leasing that property out and just doing stuff with it. But
exactly.
But for some reason, because we aren't taught finances, in school. We don't pursue the mathematics. We don't. Okay, I'm a child of a baby boomer. I wasn't taught about taxes and financing. I had to learn that on my own. It's like they keep this secret, then Big Mama dies, and then we don't know what happened. And then we're there to defend, this, you got to do this, you got to do this with it. And it's just cheaper to sell it. We'll just sell it. And you're from California. All those homes in South Central LA, as close to the beach as it is, even though they're crackerjack homes, $1 million homes. And these people are ignorant. We're in the 90s was taking $250,000 when they could have waited it out and got $1 million. Those homes now in South Central Los Angeles are estimated at over $1 million.
Yeah. And I know we keep talking about the beach property. Bruce Beach is what it was in Manhattan Beach, I think it is. Yeah, they sold it back to Los Angeles for $20 million. But where was the Black people to step up and buy it from them? You got a whole lot of wealthy celebrities that could have bought the beach from them. They didn't want to do that. And plus, nobody's talking about the upkeep and all of that. Now, if it was me, I'd have sold them back a portion and I'd have kept a percentage of the beach. But, we talk a good game, but how many of us was willing to say, here, I got 5 on it to help you keep it, or I'm going to offer you a little bit more money or whatever. We're going to come together and help pay the upkeep and the taxes and all that other stuff. So I know it sounds, bad, and we wish that they would have kept it, but, we don't know all there is to know, I would imagine. All right, so let's see here. Craig, Country McLean, how you doing? He says, you'll see down to earth folks, but y'all need to get your life together and find yourself a date, because y'all so corny, and see a therapist. Y'all ain't talking about nothing. And good night. Well, thank you. All opinions matter to some degree. Easy. It's because they're joining forces against us, Donovan. And Gustavo, you said, just face it, many Latinos are anti-Black. I'm just keeping it real. And like you said, you're Dominican. Listen, I was over there in Dominican Republic last year, and they tried to snatch me up. Me and my daughter tried to snatch us clean up because they thought we were Haitian. So yeah, I experienced that myself there in the Dominican Republic. So yeah, it's true. A lot of Latinos are anti-Black. They learned that from the oppressor, how to do that. So in Epic, it says, but why is there a generalization that the Latino community hates the Black community? That's not true. So I guess we don't want to deal in absolutes. I don't like to deal in absolutes on this show. So I wouldn't say absolutely all Latinos hate the Black community. But I think you could probably attest to that, that the sentiment for Black people from the Latino community is not overwhelmingly love, right? And the best way that you can advocate for somebody is advocate for the things that they want and the things that they need, as the Black community has done for everybody else. It's just a fact. So I'm not saying all, but I would say it's enough to make it an issue. Would you agree with that? And let's see here. Jafet, how you doing? So did any of them open their mouth when the Haitians were sent back? But they meaning the Latinos were allowed to stay? Where were they? Shalom. I mean, I'm just saying we all saw it, especially here in Texas, where Haitians were getting whipped, by police officers or border patrol on horses and things like that. And we didn't hear anybody from the Latino community saying, wait a minute now, we all kind of came over here together, through the same route and all of that. So they need to be hanging out with us. So like, where was that at, right? Nobody was mad at all that the Haitians held it. The Clinton administration is like, they had a rule, like, don't even let their boat touch land. You see their raft or their boat coming toward land, you push their asses back. When I say their asses, I mean the Haitians. So yeah, you make a very
good point. And in that same scenario that you just brought up, the Haitians that were able to cross over to the border, Biden put them on the plane that night and flew their asses. 15,000 people were flown back in 4 days. 4 days, 15,000 Haitians were flown back to a hellhole. As we know, you've been keeping word on Port-au-Prince in Haiti. Why would you send people back into a humanitarian situation like that? Oh, that because they're Haitian.
Yeah, Biden didn't waste no time. He's like, y'all won't, I bet you won't get 3 meals here. You might get one, but you're getting your asses back on the plane. And that's exactly what happened. So, I mean, we ain't making this stuff up. You know what I mean? And Bakari say they're turning into racist. Also, we have nobody but us. And again, I don't want to label everybody. I do have some very close Latino friends. I tell you guys this story all the time. One of my good friends, she is a Latino woman. And when I got out of my divorce, I had $10 to my name, right? Trying to figure out what I was going to do and all of that. And she had just started a cleaning company. She said, you come work with me. Now, I was pursuing my master's at that point. She said, you come work with me. So I did. And we cleaned houses, and she gave me all but $10. She said, just give me $10 of the money. You keep the rest. So that's how you help people. You know what I mean? Now, of course, our relationship is reciprocal. I didn't get to see her when I went back to California, but I always tell that story because I think it's disingenuous to say that, they are not of help or can be friends. I believe that Latino people are our friends in a lot of situations, but we're speaking overall. Advocate for what we want. Y'all know we want reparations. We know it's a fact that most in the Latino community are like, no, we don't think Black people should get it. So if y'all really want to say you're our friends, get behind us and tell Congress, hey, y'all need to start writing Black people checks. Otherwise, we stand in solidarity with them, and we ain't voting for none of y'all.
Yes, and the Asians need to do it too. I mean, it's bad enough they lied on us, talking about we were the ones beating them upside the head. And then the sad thing about our Latin brothers and sisters is, instead of joining with us for the reparations issue, since they have a lot of businesses and stuff like that, they're saying that they need reparations. They took our thing and talked about, no, we need reparations. What's that actor, John Leguizamo?
Leguizamo, yeah.
Oh my gosh. You did a story on that. Say something real quick on that one. What he's talking about, putting out misinformation.
Yeah, he has a show, being Latino in America, something like that.
Yeah, it's a limited show. It's over now. But
yeah, he was talking about the Latin experience in America, and just kind of really usurping the talking points of Black people. Not to say that Latin people have not had their struggles, if you will, in America. They have. But to negate that of Black people is like, come on, stop it. You know what I mean? Because that is very much so white supremacist talking points to discount the experience of Black people in America. You know. And Tanya says, "Well, Trump gonna put a stop to them illegals when he win the 2024. Well, you know, he gonna try." And Herbert says, "Black people's relationships to the Democrats is the same as Sally Hemings was." I ain't laughing at what happened to Sally Hemings. I'm not saying that, but yeah, you're right. You know, it's a usury basis.
Transactional. It should be transactional, but
Yes.
it's usury. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, it's usury. You know, because it wasn't what could really Sally do for Thomas Jefferson. He used her. You know what I mean? And her children weren't any better off. The children that he gave her, they were no better off than his white children. So
yeah, and you know, even to this day, I saw a video a while back, and they had the both families. The Black family is like nowhere near as affluent as the white families. The Black families are like everyday Black people. You know, sad.
QT says, "I had all 11 of my babies and was ridiculed by my younger sister who terminated hers. When I was carrying number 11, she finally got her first at 49. Wow. You know what? Big ups to you for caring for 11 babies. You just don't understand how much that's amazing. That's amazing. I took care of 4 at once. I have 1 biological and 3 of my nieces and nephews, and I wanted to pull all my hair out. So thank you so much for, you know, bringing 11 babies into the world, because we know, unfortunately, abortion rate is high in our community. So my hat, salute to you.
We need more Black people in this country. We need to start procreating.
Hello, William. How are you? And we are glad you caught us as well. We're about to get out of here, but I'm trying to, so you said 40 and not 49, QT. Okay. We're about to get out of here. Let's see. Jason, if I didn't already, how you doing? He says, "Ask Black America, how do we change that?" And Donovan is holding up a message to the Black man in America. It is a must read. And my father gave me 3 more books to read when I was there. The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews are all 3 volumes. And another book. He didn't give me his wisdom book. He gave me a book like it. He's like, "No, you can't have that." But he knows that I will read them and learn a lot from them and teach what I'm reading, right? So I can't wait to get into that. Brother Samuel says, on the reparation question, should present day billionaires be relieved of those billions due to it being gained through unrighteous means, and it will be split with us? Don't they really owe us, as the minister said in the past, the whole damn country? Absolutely. A lot of those people, you know, they amassed their wealth on the backs of Black people that were enslaved. There's sometimes when I drive through really nice, wealthy neighborhoods that, you know, have been there for a long time, and I'm like, nah, though, I know damn well they got some slavery money going on there, you know. So yeah, every body owes. Y'all, we're about to get out of here. Tyrone, I'm gonna bring you up really quick, as you have not had a chance to speak. How you doing? Look like you at work again.
On everything I was just finna say, yeah, I'm at work again, bullcrapping.
What's on your mind, brother?
Nah, I just popped in to ask, hey, how's everybody doing?
We are doing well. About to get out of here. And how's your day going?
It's okay. That's why that's what I heard you say. You said he's finna get up out of here. So I just pop in real quick and see how everybody was doing. I'm glad everybody's doing okay. Donovan, you good?
Man, I am doing excellent.
I came in on the tail end of the live, man. I saw the topic and I didn't even hear what it's about. But I play it back though. But yeah.
Well, come back next week or Tuesday. We'll be live, and come on earlier and tell us what's on your mind, whatever topic we gonna be talking about.
Okay, what time the live gonna be?
At 5 p.m. Central Time.
Okay. All right, next time then.
All right. Well, can't wait to see you.
All right.
Bye-bye. Artemis, how you doing? It says, what do y'all think about the Negro Los Angeles City Council members that allowed the Latino council members to take away their rich tag base? Should the Negro council members be reelected back in office? No, they should not be. But what we got to understand is a lot of those Negro politicians, they getting theirs. They don't care about the rest of Black people. They're getting theirs, right? They getting their reparation. So, they're not going to legislate on behalf of the people who sent them there. But no, I don't think they should be back in office. I think somebody else needs to go there who is actually going to do for Black people. And may say, do you think the browning, quote unquote, of America will eventually hurt Black Americans? Yeah. But it don't have to hurt us if we do for self, get our stuff together, right? We need to organize like everybody else is doing, But if you want to be honest, Black people are also contributing to the browning, if you will, of America. That's a topic for a whole nother day. Don't want to get into that. Let's see here. Oh, we are at the end. We are going to do, we did live with the last 2 Tuesdays or the last one. Yeah, so where you been, Miss Money? Said we never do live on Tuesday. We're doing it this Tuesday, and we did it the past Tuesday, so we're going to do it again. We like to talk about on Tuesdays. I think we're going to maybe talk about relationships. I don't know, whatever is trending at the time. But we'll try to make it informational as much as we can. And Tanya say, exactly. Common Man said, I will come on your show, but that means I would have to get dressed. And I ain't about to do that on the Sunday. You know what? I don't blame you. If I wasn't doing this, I wouldn't get dressed either. I'd be looking like who done it, what for, when they gonna do it some more. But I can't. So anyway, does my shoulder look bruised right here? It hurts. Y'all know why my shoulder is bruised? As I was on the flight, it does look bruised. Now I'm gonna have to, really get on it. I was on the flight, getting ready to take off. Yes, it was Spirit. And I was reading my book, and all of a sudden I felt this loud, this heavy thud on my shoulder, like, damn. And one of the airline attendants dropped her iPad with the cover and everything on it on my shoulder from the overhead bin. And she was like, oh my God. And I'm like, yeah, who you telling, right? Now, I didn't want to make a big deal out of it because I didn't want to delay the plane. I had to get where I had to go because my niece graduated from high school and everything like that, made the newspaper and everything. I'm going to post it. Anyway, yeah, it kind of jacked my shoulder.
Well, the good thing is you didn't pull your overhead bag off the plane like you did in the Seychelles.
Keep messing with me, I will. That's a long story, y'all. White woman tried me in the Seychelles, and I let her know I ain't like these negroes that live over here. Let y'all do any and everything y'all want to do to them. I'm from Southern California, okay? And she was like, be careful. No, you be careful. Back on off of me, okay? So, yeah. Anyway, Simone B, how you doing? We are about to get out of here, and everybody else that came on here late, we love and appreciate every last one of y'all. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? How's the spirit? I don't know about no lawsuit, but damn, that hurt. I was like, damn. Y'all know that top bin is high up there. It was like nothing broke his fall. The only thing that broke his fall was my damn shoulder, So anyway, we love and appreciate y'all. We're going to get out of here. I don't know if y'all feel my pain. So anyway, we're going to get out here. Love and appreciate you guys dearly. Please come back and see us again live on Tuesday. Donovan and I will be here. Of course, we'll share the link for you guys to come up and say what you got to say. Maybe we'll talk about relationships. Maybe we won't. I kind of want to talk about, I don't know what we're going to talk about. We'll figure it out. Anyway, y'all stay safe out there, cool or warm, wherever you are. Always, we have ways to help and donate to the channel. And thank you to the channel members and everybody who does everything to help the channel move along. We love and appreciate you guys. Be safe out there. Peace. Cut the check. That's right.